It's Tuesday, February 2. This is the news on PBCJ. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. The Grade 6 Primary Exit Profile PEP Ability Test will be administered on March 25, 2021. The original date was February 23, 2021. However, the ministry, in a statement, explained that they're giving students more time to prepare. Yallahs High School in St. Thomas has been closed for sanitization. This after a student reportedly contracted COVID-19. The confirmed case is a grade 10 student. Acting Principal Mark Malava says the decision to close the institution was done out of caution. We caught up with him on Monday.
The student last attended school on somewhere around the 15th of January 2021. So the incubation period would have already passed. Our concern is the fact that the student also had other siblings who were attending school at the time. Up to last week, I have been advised. As a precaution, we have decided to close school, postpone face-to-face classes, so to speak, and move fully online. To allow the incubation period to pass, in addition to which we have also decided that we would postpone end-of-term examinations that were slated to commence today.
He says the staff at the institution will be undergoing COVID-19 tests.
We had long decided from an administrative standpoint that if we had a case, then we would have dealt with it a particular way, and we are going through that process as part of the response mechanism. Our systems remain very robust and agile, because we are in largely uncharted territory, and we just have to do what we have to do. The education of our students is a major task that we have to engage with. It is why we are here, and we intend to get on with the business of teaching and learning as soon as possible.
The school opened its gates for face-to-face classes last November as part of the Education Ministry's phased reopening of schools program. Meanwhile, fifth form students of Morant Bay High School in St. Thomas are back in the classroom today. Acting Principal Marsha Ford Brian says the face-to-face session started on Monday with sixth form students.
We have opened the doors to our students for face-to-face interaction for our examination groups. Today, February the 1st, 2021, we have invited our sixth form students. Currently, we have 16 teachers who are engaging them on that face-to-face basis.
The island's health services continues its efforts to flatten the curve of COVID-19 cases. Here are the latest figures.
A 75-year-old man from St. Anne is the latest person to succumb to the COVID-19 pandemic on the island. Today, the virus has claimed 353 lives. Over the past 24 hours, 195 new cases were reported. 47 of those cases were in Kingston and St. Andrew, 37 in Manchester, and 32 in St. Catherine. Clarendon recorded 18, St. James has 14, and there were 9 in St. Elizabeth. Trelawney posted 8 cases, while Hanover, St. Mary, and St. Thomas all reported 7 cases. St. Anne has 5 cases, and there are 4 in Westmoreland. 40 recoveries were also reported on Monday, moving that total to 12,108. At this time, 92 persons are in hospital, 7 patients are moderately ill, and 11 are critical. For the news on PBCJ, I'm Gabrielle Thompson.
The Jamaica Constabulary Force will be rolling out a quick response team over the next few weeks, geared at first towards criminal activities in Lower St. Andrew. Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson made the announcement at a virtual press conference convened by the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Major General Anthony Anderson says the quick response team is one of several crime-fighting strategies, all working towards a reduction in homicides and other major crimes this year.
They will be trained in the tactical use, and are being trained in the tactical use of motorcycles and their weapons to respond quickly to gang activities and other threats to the lower part of Kingston. We're continuing that process, and it's going to expand up into the northern part of Kingston and St. Andrew. So we are seeing what they are. We're also restructuring how we police Kingston as we speak to remove some of those artificial boundaries that were traditional into a more fluid citywide policing strategy.
According to the police chief, the lawmen have observed criminal behaviors of late linked to family feuds. He's issuing a warning against those activities.
We saw that, as I say, most recently in this case. We saw it at an earlier case in Trelawney. We saw that in a case in St. Mary, where this sort of behavior has been playing out. My warning and advice in this case, or in these cases, is that even if you're disposed to do that, the likelihood of you getting away with it is quite low. In all of these cases, we have persons in custody. These cases have been solved. There may be one or two people we are still after, but largely you will not get away with it.
His comments follows the murder of 51-year-old Andrea Lowe Garwood over the weekend. Deputy Commissioner of Police Fitz Bailey says a fourth suspect is now in custody.
Yes, that's a suspect. The suspect who we believe actually pulled the trigger.
Mrs. Lowe Garwood was in a worship session at her church when a man posing as a member of the congregation shot her several times before escaping. The Police Commissioner, Major General Anthony Anderson, gave an update on a small plane that crashed in the fishing village of Rocky Point, Clarendon, a week ago. He says the plane was not destined for Jamaica.
We do know that it's a Mexican registration plane, that the pilots on board, as far as we know, and as it's been reported to us, there was no real cargo on board. It has a profile that is suspicious, and we are following up. We actually know who were flying it, and this is part of a transnational set of investigations that are taking place.
The Police Commissioner was speaking at a virtual press brief on Monday. A ward of the state is a minor who is under the legal custody of a state or a subdivision of the state and are typically placed in foster care in accordance with the law. 115 wards of the state have passed 4 or more subjects in the 2020 Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate CSEC and Caribbean Advanced Proficiency CAPE examinations. The students' achievements were highlighted last Friday by the Child Protection and Family Services Agency during a ceremony held at the Terra Nova All-Suite Hotel in St. Andrew. Minister of State in the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, Robert Morgan, commended the students on their academic achievements. He also reported that the government spent more than $54 million on tertiary education for children in the system in 2020. 60 tablet computers were presented to the top awardees from the CPFSA's 4 region. The top male and female awardees earned 9 subjects each. As COVID-19 continues to reshape the way we do business, one area where this is obvious is with a driver's license. In today's extended business report with host Gabrielle Thompson, she speaks with Tax Administration of Jamaica, the TAJ, about the new approaches to applying for a driver's license.
Effective Monday, February 1, persons renewing their driver's license will be able to pick up their printed license within a maximum of 20 days. Announcing these operational changes, the Tax Administration Jamaica TAJ says it has taken steps to improve the turnaround time from a maximum of 8 weeks, depending on if the service was initiated at a processing or non-processing tax office. Taxpayers are being reminded that payment for the renewal of a driver's license can be done online on the tax authority's website at www.jamaicatax.gov.jm. The following documents are to be submitted to any tax office to complete the transaction: a printed copy of your receipt, completed application for driver's license transactions, Form F7, passport-sized photograph of the applicant no less than 6 months and not certified, a copy of the expired or current driver's license if available. Motorists are allowed to operate a motor vehicle using the receipt and current or expired driver's license for a period not exceeding 60 days. Additionally, persons who dropped off their driver's license renewal documents as of December 1, 2020 at any tax office island-wide are now able to check TAJ's website to see if their renewed license is ready for pickup. Taxpayers will also receive a notification email along with instructions for pickup. In Monday's trading session, the JSE combined index declined by 1,714 points to close at under 400,000 units. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 86 stocks, of which 40 advanced, 35 declined, and 11 traded firm. The junior market index declined by 12 points to close at under 3,000 units. Stocks advanced for AMG Packaging and Paper Company, Barita Investments Limited, and CAC 2009.5% preference shares. Stocks declined for 138 Student Living Jamaica, Access Financial Services, and Berger Paints Jamaica. Trading firm were 1834 Investments Limited, Derrimont Trading Company, and Derrimont Trading Company preference shares. Carreras Limited was the volume leader with 33.3 million units, followed by Trans-Jamaican Highway Limited with 1.8 million units, and Sagicor Select Funds Limited Manufacturing and Distribution with over 900,000 units. Now for the foreign exchange. The US dollar on Monday, February 1 ended trading at $149.21. The Canadian dollar sold for an average $116.40. The pound sterling traded for $204.01, and the euro ended trading at $182.79. Oil prices settled more than 2% higher on Monday, buoyed by falling U.S. crude inventories and rising winter fuel demand due to one of the worst snowstorms to hit the U.S. Northeast in years. Brent crude futures rose $1.31 to $56.35 a barrel. West Texas Intermediate crude futures gained $1.35 to $53.55 a barrel. And that does it for the Tuesday edition of the Business Report on PBCJ. I'm Gabrielle Thompson.
In the news from the region, with Guyana receiving its first donation pledge of 20,000 COVID-19 vaccines from China, the president has assured that each Guyanese will get to choose whether they want to be vaccinated when the immunization drive commences.
Directly negotiating with the primary manufacturers of these vaccines to access them for Guyana. Last year, Guyana joined the COVAX and is now eligible to receive vaccines for 20% of our population, which will be free of cost. We expect to receive approximately 3,800 vaccines in February and March, which will be assigned immediately for people, our frontline health workers, people with comorbidities, and our elderly. We are also working with CARICOM, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, and the European Union for a quota of vaccines. At the bilateral levels, the government of Guyana has had productive discussions with the government of India, the government of China, and the government of Russia. The government of China has confirmed that it will be donating 20,000 doses of vaccines to Guyana. Discussions are ongoing, and arrangements to acquire vaccines from these countries will be finalized very shortly.
The Oxford Astra-Zeneca COVID-19 vaccine is no second-class vaccine. This assurance came from WHO PAHO representative to Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Erica Wheeler, at the Health Ministry's virtual media conference Monday. Dr. Wheeler responded to questions about the efficacy of the vaccine to be delivered to Trinidad and Tobago next month. Mahalia Joseph Wharton has more.
WHO has a global responsibility to approve the quality, safety and efficacy of all vaccines that are released for the public. So we are talking about 194 member states. The technical reviews, both of PAHO at the regional level as well as at the international level, are based on science.
Minister of Health Terence Dialsing reminded that healthcare workers, the elderly, especially those in long-stay homes and essential workers, are some of the groups that are first in line for the vaccine. He said consent forms would be given to the relatives of those in long-stay homes.
The most vulnerable, the most exposed will get a first shot, a first tranche, a first bite at that vaccination cherry. After we have done that, depending on the number of vaccines left from that first tranche, or if we get more, then we start what we call our mass vaccination program.
The vaccine will be delivered to Trinidad and Tobago by March 2021. Trinidad and Tobago has been allocated an initial 100,000 to 120,000 doses. The vaccine will be distributed through the public health system. The minister added that persons under 18 will not be vaccinated in this first phase. Mahalia Joseph Wharton, TTT News.
The performance of the COVID-19 wardens in St. Lucia is under public scrutiny after a rough weekend on the job in the face of non-compliant members of the public. A video of a recent crackdown on offenders, which has gone viral, is raising questions about the training and capacity of well-meaning wardens.
In a day's duty for the protocol police, or COVID-19 wardens, their official title, as they sought to arrest an alleged violator of the must wear a mask in public protocol. The individual, known as Shotman, was not in a cooperative mood. The man claimed that the male warden tugged his shirt as opposed to talking to him.
After you put my shirt, I tried to you. My lady tell me what happened. May say you'll go make some money to your something. My God, may say you'll have your life. Have somebody phone there.
The two females and one male warden struggled to overpower the man or subdue him with handcuffs, making a meal of the matter.
You cannot take it, my lady. You cannot take it.
The wardens did not enjoy the support of onlookers who chastised them for seeking to arrest the man. Finally, the man agreed to cooperate and was led away to the police station. About half a mile away at Sanssouci, a man and his wife were stopped, again for allegedly not wearing a mask in public. This time, it was a warden in the company of regular policemen.
But I'm going, sir. Sir, I'm going, sir. What you doing me that for? Sir, what you doing me that for? Sir, I never did nothing wrong. What you doing me that for?
The man claimed that he had done nothing wrong and alleged that the police had assaulted his wife.
We cannot put on the vehicle without you, uncle. Why? We cannot put on the vehicle without you, uncle. But I'm going. We cannot put on the vehicle. Let us go. Without his uncle. Let us go. We cannot put on the vehicle without you, uncle, sir. And you said. Come. I never do nothing wrong. So we cannot put it. Let us go. Sasha, let us go. Let us go. I do nothing wrong now, sir. We have to search you, sir. We can put on the vehicle that you've been searched. So this is procedure. We cannot put on the vehicle that you are searched. But I have an appointment now. You're signing up. All right? Let us go. So because you do my wife, what you do? Now you want to play. You're looking for a reason to arrest me. Arrest me.
The police held their ground and were determined to effect the arrest despite the man's protest.
But I don't do nothing wrong, you know. I don't do nothing wrong, you know. I don't do nothing wrong now, sir. I don't do nothing wrong. The first time I got my mask, that I did nothing wrong, partner. Sasha, let's go. Sasha, let's go. Exactly, yes, sir. Come on, we can, yes, sir.
Then the man had another request that his wife travel aboard the police vehicle with him. No luck with this either.
Sasha, let us go. You sit down on that side, you sit down on that side. Sasha, where my wife? Sasha, I'm not going to leave my wife by Sasha. Sasha, with us,
your wife will meet you at the station, sir.
Partner, I'm not going to leave my wife.
Your wife will meet you at the station, sir.
Partner, my wife have to ride on the vehicle.
Sir, your wife will meet you at the station.
I don't know what to do with nothing.
You are not a minor, sir. Your wife will meet you at the station. If you are a minor, we'd have to escort your wife if you are not a minor, sir.
With the COVID-19 numbers numbingly high, police and wardens are seeking to make examples of violators in order to have more members of the public comply with the mask-wearing mandate. Stanley Lucian for the HTS News Force.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Barbados Agricultural Society believes the island's 2-week lockdown could present some challenges for farmers. More from Barbados today.
While the assistance of farmers will be sought by government as it works towards distributing an estimated 60,000 care packages to vulnerable and underprivileged persons during the February 3rd to 17th national pause, farmers will not be allowed to sell their produce otherwise. And according to BAS CEO James Paul, while some crops and produce can withstand the 2-week break, others may rot.
The thing is really that it seems as if farmers would not be able to sell as they did in the previous lockdown, from even their farms. That in itself is going to be problematic for some individuals. So in some cases, if they do not have the ability to live at home, that's another issue. I don't know. It will pose challenges to some of the farmers out there. It will definitely pose some challenges. So there are certain farmers who are small egg producers. They might have, say, 1,000 eggs that lay on a daily basis. That in itself could impose some challenges to some farmers who might not be able to set up a home delivery service or something like that. That could be problematic for some farmers. A lot of these are fresh produce things that are perishable. So if they cannot get rid of them, hope they can go back. There's a possibility. But again, I'm hoping that the care program will be able to help once they can get the produce. And of course, remember, they can still supply supermarkets. So I'm hoping too that the supermarkets themselves can play a role in terms of trying to take on as much of that produce as possible.
Fisherfolk share mixed reactions on government's decision to close all fish markets when the country goes on lockdown from February 3rd to 17. Some have expressed frustration and regret that they will not be allowed to ply their trade, while others said they understood the reason behind the decision and were backing Prime Minister Mia Mottley 100%. However, both sides agree that sales have increased significantly since the announcement was made last week.
I can understand the decision to stop the market because they're trying to control the crowd and spread it by trying to control the spread of COVID by controlling the crowd. And opening all of these entities, people will get reasons to leave home. Even if there is not a legit reason just to leave home. And the markets in Barbados is one place people will come to congregate for no reason.
You're right, because when they're all for the rich man, when they care about the hungry man.
In sports, we make or run up with cricket as the West Indies prepares to face off against host Bangladesh in the upcoming Test Series interim test. Captain Craig Brathwaite says the team must focus on executing their plans in the upcoming series. Brathwaite was one of 3 batsmen to score half-centuries in the recent 3-day match against Bangladesh Cricket Board 11 at the M.A. Aziz Stadium, while off-spinner Rakeem Cornwall led the attack with an impressive 5-wicket haul. There were bright spots in the West Indies batting, especially following a poor display in the preceding one-day series. Left-handed opener John Campbell chipped in with scores of 44 and 68, while on-capped Nkrumah Bonner top-scored in the second innings with a polished 80. Brathwaite is confident ahead of the Test series. And that's the news. Thanks so much for making it PBCJ. Pleasant viewing.